I'm back. I have some criticisms of K-pop demon hunters. I've seen chunks of it numerous times every time I see my grandchildren because they like it. So one of the things I noticed is it's a subtle thing right at the beginning, but they're showing the origins of the hunters, of the demon hunters, singing Demon Hunter Girls, and it's about energy harvesting.
This is amazing! It's like everyone's giving their energy now. Yeah!
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Satan! 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 Satan!
And right at the start, there's a little girl and she's enamored by one of the hunters and they're playing music and it looks like, I don't know, feudal Korea or whatever they had a long time ago in the ancient days. And the little girl's like, oh wow, look at her. And then the demon hunter takes something out of the little girl's chest, like her soul or her spirit. I think it's really just energy. And harvests the little girl's energy and goes, shh. And it's like a subtle, quick thing. But I'm like, wait a minute, that's energy harvesting. She just took the energy out of that little girl's chest. And that's, you know, an obvious thing that I don't think I included in my other videos where I gave a favorable review of K-pop demon hunters. This time around I have some criticisms. And it's energy harvesting at a concert. I mean, this is one of the things that when Taylor Swift became a witch, people said, look what she's doing, she's harvesting energy. People pass out at her concerts and they don't remember what happened or why they passed out. And they're saying that they're using like ELFs, like extremely low frequencies and stuff, to make people pass out at these big concerts. And her concerts get so huge that people are like waiting out. It's like just trying to listen in, which is nothing new. I mean, the parking lot of the Grateful Dead used to be a place for people to buy drugs, and they would just go to the parking lot and they didn't even get into the show, or they didn't have a ticket. They're like, no, we heard the Grateful Dead was playing here and we just showed up at the parking lot. And then they'd get high and listen to the music from a distance. But with Taylor Swift, it's, you know, a lot of women like her, like mostly, like, you know, like some guys like her, whatever, but it's mostly like hordes of young women, and they're obsessed with her and all this stuff. And K-pop demon hunters is like that. They're harvesting their fans' energies and they use that to fight against the demons. So maybe that's not the best thing. It's also, they stole it from Dragon Ball Z, which I'm sure, since everybody knows about K-pop demon hunters, one of the obvious things is, hey, when Goku makes a spirit bomb, he asks the people of the earth if he can harvest their energy to fight against Vegeta or who, you know, the bad guys on Dragon Ball Z. And that's a spirit bomb. But it's also energy harvesting. It's just that Goku doesn't sing any songs.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Satan! 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 Satan!
And in Japanese he has the voice of an old lady, which is strange. But in K-pop demon hunters, they're idols, so it's full of idolatry, and they have those things that they hold in their hands. They have the symbol that looks like a carpet banger, and that's the symbol for Huntrix. I don't know if you're old enough to remember carpet bangers, but in the olden days you would take the carpets outside and you'd hit them with a thing that looks like what they wave as their idolatry, that they're fans of Huntrix. And then the Saja boys have like a lion thing that they, you know, like that they hold up, and it's like a lion head. So I don't know what that symbol means. It's some kind of mandala or whatever. It looks like a carpet banger to me. That's why I said that. I'm old though. So another thing that's criticism, the idolatry of it. Like, they are idols. They're in a competition that they've won like 5 times over, 5 years in a row. Huntrix has won the Korean Idol Awards or whatever that show is that they put on. So that's idolatry. It's like a rib. Japan has the whole thing. They have the whole schmear on girls that are idols, but the fans of the idol girls in Japan, and I know Korea and Japan aren't the same thing, but you know about the Japanese idol girls, where no matter how old they are, they pretend to be younger, and they sing sugary pop songs, and the audience is men in their 40s to 60s.
All our fans were dudes in their 30s.
Primarily, even though there is like some proportion of young people that are fans of the idols.
This is one of the many so-called events which take place in Tokyo on the terraces of department stores in the center of town. Today, young idols dressed in school uniforms sing for an audience of fans, most of whom are otakus.
But there's so many of them, so numerous, that they get support from these men that haven't married, or if they are married, they're like, I don't care about that old bag, and they want to look at like me and all this, you know. Japan, it's a nation obsessed. It's afflicted is the right word. Afflicted with Lolita complex. The women too, probably, or they suffer because of it. It's not good with Japan. They have negative population rate. I wonder why. Because they're worshiping idols, and idolatry is one of the things that biblically God said, don't. No idolatry. So the K-pop girls are idols, and they want to win the idol awards of the year, right? That's not good. Also, they don't wear enough clothes. The main girl with the purple hair, the whole movie she's like wearing hot pants. Except it is funny to me that sometimes they dress like what it seems like a lot of women wear in public, which is, you know, baggy hoodies and pajama pants and slippers and stuff, because that's how people dress now. The wardrobe of idiocracy. Mike Judge makes a movie in, I think it was 2006, and where in the future everybody's really stupid and they wear pajamas and Crocs, and they get their pajamas and Crocs out of a vending machine, and it looks like everybody's wearing scrubs. Remember scrubs from a hospital? Now that's how people go to the store. So I thought that was funny that they did that. Another thing I noticed is that sometimes they don't wear makeup. Usually cartoons, maybe cartoons will have like a wardrobe change or something, but sometimes they're not wearing makeup. I thought that was funny. Like I was like, oh look, they're not wearing makeup. And they're cartoons. Like when I was growing up, cartoons, they always wore the same clothes. They always looked the same. So if somebody got out of bed and there was a pretty girl cartoon or whatever, it looked like she already had makeup on, because it's animation. Now animation is more complicated. That's not a criticism. I just thought it was funny. Also, very transparently, there are fans of HUNTR that are LGBTQ guys. That I thought, that's kind of funny. Because it's obvious the guy's wearing like a little tiny scarf. They're like, oh, and they're like mincing and stuff. Big buff guys mincing around that they in love with these K-pop girls. And they're too skinny. They look like Barbie dolls. It's not real human in proportions. I don't know if that's a criticism, but I was just like, yeah, they look like Barbie dolls. Because we were playing Barbie dolls, and they said, these K-pop, they look like the Barbie dolls. Like they have the same proportions of a Barbie. Anyway. And they don't wear enough clothes. They're always wearing mini clothes and stuff, like mini hot pants. And I don't know. Also, the guy gives his soul. He gives his soul, which, you know, I get it symbolically. He lays down his life for the girl that he's crushing on. Remember that at the end when the K-pop boy's like holding off Haku or Akuma or whatever the guy's name is. He's holding up the big fire, the guy that represents Satan, basically. And then he gives up his soul, and then she turns it into a sword. So basically, I don't know if you noticed this, but the sword she uses to finish the battle at the end is the guy's soul, who, you know, sold out his family. Remember that? So maybe this isn't the longest video, but I did have a sort of addendum to K-pop Demon Hunters that, you know, if you ever seen a Super Bowl performance, Madonna gave away the whole game of Super Bowl performances one time when she said, all of you watching are now participants in a Kabbalistic ritual, and then she's doing singing, dancing. And then everybody knows about the famous Beyonce performance. Also, what is it about the Super Bowl in ancient Egypt? One, it's energy harvesting. There's a lot of pentagrams, depending on what view you have of the Super Bowl halftime show, they can be upside down. There's a lot of like ancient Egypt, like every time you can do Super Bowl, you gotta do like some kind of ancient Egypt theme. It's like if you did a compilation of Super Bowl performances from the last 20 to 30 years, there's gonna be, what's the reoccurring theme? Ancient Egypt and pyramids and pentagrams and big giant all-seeing eyes and stuff. The famous Super Bowl performance everybody thinks about is when one of the times, because there's numerous times where Beyonce comes out at a Super Bowl performance and she does the ancient Egypt thing. Katy Perry did it, probably Lady Gaga did it, in Jeweled Blood or something. Lady Gaga is very transparent. You know that she's an occultist. She just like doesn't really hide it. She can't. She's too short. Anyway, so Beyonce comes out, and then you see her change, and all the girls that love Beyonce say, I don't know if I like the Sasha Fierce thing. It looks like she's possessed. Yeah, because she's possessed. And then she does the halftime performance. Why do I keep talking about halftime performances in K-pop Demon Hunters? Because they're harvesting energy. But when you watch K-pop Demon Hunters, they're making it seem like, no, it's a good thing. We're harvesting your energy to protect you guys from demons. But in reality, what's really happening is they're harvesting your energy to offer it to demons for shit that they want in the real world. It's a ritual. It's an occult ritual when it happens at the Super Bowl or some kind of sporting event, because they have sporting events worldwide. It's not just Super Bowl in America. But anytime when they know they got a lot of people watching and a lot of attention, Taylor Swift concert, when Travis Scott obviously sacrificed those 8 or 9 people, if not more, at the Astroland tragedy, and the whole thing, if you've ever seen videos on the Travis Scott Astroland, it's very creepy, and all the symbolism of his Astroland dystopia tour is very transparent. And you know, to get in, you have to enter his head, and it says, abandon all hope, ye who enter in here. And it's like you're going into the gates of hell symbolically, and you're now a participant in an occult ritual. And then it's a very specific ritual he did where 9 lives were sacrificed, but probably more people may have died at that concert. We're not sure. Also, that was another event that was repeatedly happening at Astroland, as well as other concerts, where people were passing out and they didn't know why, and people said, well, they're using extremely low frequencies with the sound system and putting that stuff out into the audience. It's not just the music that they're listening to, they're affecting them with sound. One of the ways that people can be affected with sound that's famous is, I think it was the band Medicine, and at a concert they all wore diapers on stage and they played the brown note, which is like something they figured out during World War II, I think, where if you play a certain frequency, everybody's gonna poop their pants. So they knew about that, and then they did it, and it worked, and people in the audience pooped themselves, and since they were playing it, they knew they'd poop themselves too, so they're wearing diapers. And I think that was at a Medicine show. It's a UK band. And there may have been other bands that did the same thing, but that's the one that I remember, if I'm even remembering the story right. But, you know, go look into the brown note, and you'll know all about it. When's a rap guy gonna make the audience shit their pants? And then they're gonna get really pissed off unless he puts out another frequency, and they're gonna storm the stage and they're gonna tear the guy limb from limb. You would hope, right? So, yeah, K-pop demon hunters, the girls of HUNTR are harvesting energy, and they sing songs, and it's in the lyrics of their songs, like what they're doing, and they're harvesting energy. And at the end, it's when it's about shame, like the idea about being part demon is about shame, but also she's like part demon, and it's only when this is where a Gnostic theme comes in that I didn't recognize the first time. It's only when she comes into harmony with her light side and her dark side, which is a Gnostic idea, which is evil, which is bad, that she can win the big battle at the end, because the band's divided because her friends look at her and say like, what, you're half demon? Why didn't you just tell us? All right, there's the shame part. But what's underneath it is a vague Gnostic theme, and I don't know if you know about, like, one of the dominant themes in movies is the idea of subtly undermining ways programming people for Gnosticism, the idea that there's some kind of balance between darkness and light. No, you have to pick a side, good or evil. Good shines light on the evil, and the evil has to go away. It's not a balance between these two. Oh, the perfect balance of good and evil, and that's Rumi. That's not how it's supposed to be. It would be more like she's overcoming the evil, her dark side, overcoming her shame. I don't know if it comes across like that in the movie, but that would be, again, another criticism about K-pop demon hunters, that maybe it seems like a good thing now, but if they do a sequel and they're trying to like resurrect the demon boys or whatever, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, you don't understand, the demons aren't bad, they're tortured. Yeah, they're tortured, all right. They're tortured because they're bad. Hell was an obligation. It was something that wasn't supposed to be for you or I. It was supposed to be punishment for demons. And, so I do like the way that the movie ended, where, okay, evil is vanquished, but it was vanquished by energy harvesting, which in the real world isn't a good thing. So, you could look at it like where it's exposed, like if somehow it's exposed to the masses in a bigger way than it already has been already. Like, a lot of people used to like Taylor Swift, and they're Christians, and they're like, yeah, but she said she's a witch, and there's a whole song she did, Willow, and her concerts are energy harvesting, because this is openly talked about, like, lots of people know this idea of energy harvesting, and they're like, yep, that's Taylor Swift's doing that, because something about her that's kind of a skunk, and people can see through that, and they're like, yeah, she's harvesting people's energy. But I think that people who are wicked, if they're exposed, and they're like, yeah, but K-pop demon hunters, they harvest people's energy, so it's like a good thing, because we're doing it to fight against demons, when in reality is your energy is harvested and it's offered to demons as an offering to them.
Satan! 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 Satan!
Like when those guys with the funny hair, the funny curly hair on the side, light candles over the places in the Ukraine, over the dead bodies. They light these candles, these, like, it looks like a pitchfork. What do they call them? A menorah, like menorah. And they light these menorahs with the pitchfork with the 9 spikes, and they light candles on top of that. And that's like some kind of ritualistic offering or claiming of souls or a territory or whatever it is they're doing. Anyway, the point is that it's to Satan, okay? So, occultists do this. They harvest the energy of war and stuff like that, and they use it. It's even in the Wonder Woman movie, the first Wonder Woman movie. She's going after Ares, and she's like, he's harvesting the energy of the people dying in World War II, which has always been a thing of war. Like, war is a huge energy harvesting ritual event that the elite have always been in on. The elite start wars, the richest people in the world, some of their names, I'm not going to name them. Their names end with child, some of them. They've been doing this for a long time, some of them. And they, they set up wars, start them, and then they harvest the energy. And in K-pop Demon Hunters, what they're doing is making it to seem like little girls, like a good thing. You like K-pop? You like the K-pop cartoon? Well, no, when they harvest energy, it's good. They're harvesting it to push down evil and hold it back. But, in the real world, what harvesting energy is used for is evil. Just saying. So I hope I didn't overstate it too much. I tend to overstate things and reiterate things to the point of overstating them. So there would be some criticisms of K-pop Demon Hunters. Too many skinny outfits and midriffs, stuff like that. So if it's a movie aimed at little girls, longer pants, longer dresses. The one girl's walking around in a miniskirt the whole time, right? And the temperament. Another criticism I just remembered is it's funny. It's done in a humorous way, where the girl's like rebelling her parents, but they're just like normal parents. And she's talking about how she's a wild child and disobeyed and everything like that. That's rebellion. So the redheaded girl, who's like always pouty and everything, she's rebellious and she rebels against her parents, but her parents are just like look like normal parents, like everyday, like button down people, and in Korea or whatever. And she's like pushing them away, and the glass shatters and the family's shattered because she's a wild child, and now that's how she makes her money. I forget the exact lyric, but that's one of the lyrics that I didn't like, where she's like, I've been a wild child, now that's how I'm getting paid. And I know it's very charming, but there are some things in it that are probably not so good. And again, this is aimed at little girls. Am I wrong about that? It's aimed at little girls and people like anime and stuff. I know anime is Japanese, but Korea and Japan are right next to each other, and I know that, like they want to differentiate themselves from one another, but there's so many things that are so similar about them. And the other thing I wonder is, did the K-pop, did they get plastic surgery? They dye their hair. Anyway, that's enough. I said enough about K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know how many times I've seen it, like in different pieces here and there, but I've seen enough to have, criticism of it that goes this long. And making some of the demons seem cute is probably not a good idea. I mean, I understand the demons seeming appealing so that you will be taken by them. That's part of the hypnotism of music with the Saja Boys and all that stuff. But having like the tiger demon or liger demon or whatever that is, and the bird with the 6 eyes, like here's the comedy relief mascots, but they're demons. They're demons from like Korean Prince like Prints. So yeah, I mean, like it's making stuff like here's a stuffed animal of a demon, just like Pokemon, which is just demons, like cockfighting with demons. I'm gonna trap a demon in a lamp, and it'll do my bidding and win fights for me. And people fight over Pokemon at the vending machines. And again, they stole the whole thing from Dragon Ball Z. It's just energy harvesting. And we know about Dragon Ball Z. They're fallen angels. They fall the what are they called? Goku and the Saiyans. They fall to Earth. It's like Superman's story, fallen angel story, Thor's story, fallen angel story. A lot of these, any kind of savior of mankind that falls from Earth and is a light bringer or whatever. This is the devil's story. Silver Surfer, that's the devil's story. It's a story where the devil is the protagonist. But granted, the Huntrix girls are demon hunters, but they harvest energy from their fans. The fans! And the one, she does deep throat, a hoagie or whatever, a seaweed roll or whatever. That's kind of gross. I mean, it's pretty transparent. She does deep throat the seaweed roll. I'm not the only one. Like, as soon as you see it, like, should I be looking at that? Should children be looking at that? It's pretty transparent. So I'm gonna go now. And those are my criticisms of K-pop Demon Hunters.
What is an idol?
みんなの
But you will be much more than that.
Satan! Satan! Satan!